Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDN TV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications.
Some youth leaders in the Niger Delta have reacted to the recent threat by the reformed Niger Delta Avengers to relaunch violent attacks on Nigeria's crude oil and gas assets should the federal government fail to meet their demand for the region's development. In their reaction, the youth leaders described the demands of the militant group as just and appropriate, but warned against violence in the struggle for an existence in the Niger Delta. Correspondent Tekena Mufuri has the report.
In solidarity with youths demanding police reforms and better governance, the reformed Niger Delta Avengers recently threatened to resume hostilities in the Niger Delta should the federal government fail to meet their demands on the transformation of their region. In a recent press statement, the militant group accused the federal government of withdrawing the sum of $1 billion from the excess crude account in 2019 to fund counterinsurgency campaigns in the northeast, while failing to address poverty and underdevelopment, two major issues that gave rise to violent conflicts in the Niger Delta prior to the introduction of the Presidential Amnesty Program in June 2009. The reformed Niger Delta Avengers regretted that while armed agitators in the region had complied fully with the terms of the 2009 Peace Pact, the federal government had reneged on its promise to improve the lot of communities in the beleaguered region. Consequently, the militant group has demanded that adequate provisions be made in the 2021 budget for the transformation of the Niger Delta, as well as immediate release of the sum of 98 billion naira gas flare penalty fund to impacted communities in the region.
Any right-thinking Niger Delta should be able to think in the direction of what will help fast-track the rate of development in this region. When you have things like the penalty that should be paid by companies for flaring gas in the region, I do not think that government should always be on the side of business operators or IOCs against its own people.
Because of this gas flaring, our lifespan here has been terribly reduced. It's been very painful that the government of Nigeria has not been very conscious about the go-throughs of the Niger Delta people.
In its recent press statement, the reformed Niger Delta Avengers also demanded a policy framework to legalize operations of artisanal refiners of crude oil in the Niger Delta, as the federal government did recently to incorporate local miners and refiners into the mainstream of gold production in Zamfara State.
What did we do wrong that Zamfara gold could be mined by local miners of Zamfara, and then they have license to operate and make the gold a product they can sell, which is their God-given resources. Our own gold here is crude. This is what we've been saying over time, that we want to manage our resources. We have structures, we can manage our resources.
This artisanal refinery has contributed, not the amnesty program. The amnesty program did not bring any peace to Niger Delta. It is this artisanal refinery that has employed the volume of our youths. If you can give Zamfara the freedom to mine their gold, you must give us the freedom to equally refine our crude oil.
President of the Ijaw Youth Council, Comrade Peter Igbifa, however, cautions the reformed Niger Delta Avengers and other agitated groups in the region to eschew violence in their engagement with the federal government.
Did Zamfara people shoot gun? Zamfara people did not fight war. There was no military attack on Zamfara for them to start producing gold and selling. The same thing will happen here, very peaceful. As we continue to push on these consultations, let it be a space of time for federal government to quickly sit back and review all the laws that seem to divide us more than unite us as a country.
Before this time, the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, a coalition of elders and leaders in the region, had equally sued for peace in the hope that cessation of hostilities would create room for development in the region. 4 years after its November 2016 meeting with the federal government, PANDEF says the 16-point agenda it put forward as precondition for lasting peace in the Niger Delta has been left largely unaddressed. Undaunted by this development, some non-violent youths are mobilizing to engage the Nigerian authorities in another round of dialogue, hoping that more far-reaching measures will be taken this time to address the challenges of deprivation and insecurity faced by communities in the Niger Delta.
Inside the Niger Delta,